As you go through this course, you'll open up a number of After Effects projects that I created for you, and I want to make sure that that process goes smoothly. Where things can go wrong is if you've changed any of the file names that are inside the Working Files folder, or moved those assets to a different folder, or moved the folders to some new location on your hard drive. In those cases, when you open up After Effects, it won't be able to find those assets. Well, all is not lost. You simply have to tell After Effects where you moved those things, or if you change the names, what the new names are. It's a fairly simple process to re-link to missing assets. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, I messed things up on the Working Files folder temporarily for the demonstration purposes. Let's just take a look at that. Go to Working Files, and you see that I changed this folder name as well as that folder name. Inside this folder, I changed the name of that file. And back here, inside this folder, I changed the name of that folder name as well as this file name. So all these things are going to create problems when we open up this project that I created just for this purpose. Let me close this down. You won't find this project in your Working Files folder. I made it just for this lesson. So let's just double click on this guy, open it up, and we get this message. After Effects warning, 15 files are missing since you last saved this project. Well, that's not a surprise in this case, but that's the kind of message you're going to get if there are assets that are not properly linked. So we click OK. It's really obvious which assets are not linked because they have these color bars thumbnails. Now, in a later lesson, I'm going to explain how you track down missing fonts and missing effects as well as missing assets. And that process will involve typing missing here in this little search bar, MIS, and then you see these guys show up like that. But in virtually all the projects that you're going to work on in this course, it'll be clear which things are missing because you'll immediately see those little thumbnails like that. So I'll close this thing down. All right, to track these things down is fairly easy. What I want to do is I'm going to start off with the MP4 files here because they're all in one folder and the names of the files have not changed. So I'm going to put them all together here by clicking on Type. That puts all the MPEG files there in one row so you can see them all there. I'm going to select just one of them. I'm going to go to bicycles here. We're going to track down bicycles. And when we do, After Effects will find the other 9 files here because they're all in the same place. Once After Effects knows the folder structure, then it can find the rest of the files in that folder structure. So to find a missing file, there are 2 ways to do it. One that's kind of long, you just right click and go to Replace Footage and go to File. The easy way to do it is just double click over here in the thumbnail. That opens up the Replace Footage File dialog box. And it specifically names the thing we're looking for there, Bicycles MP4. Well, I know where that is, so I need to tell After Effects where I put it. So I'm going to Working Files, and I'm going to go over here to this changed folder name. And there is that file. I can either click on it and click on Import, or just double click on it. And when I double click on it, it'll find the other 9 missing files. And I get this message, 9 previously missing items have been found. And in fact, 10 were found. You found 1, and After Effects found the other 9, right? So click OK. And there they all are now. The color bar's thumbnail is gone, telling you that everything is fine. They're all connected. All right, let's look for these JPEG files. They're all in the same folder. So if we find one of them, it should find all 3, right? But I changed the name of Abstract Waves, so it'll find these 2, but not that one. Let's just track down Colorful Bowls here by double-clicking on it. You need to go to that folder, so it's inside the Photo Spin Assets folder there, which I changed. Scrolling down here a little bit to the Colorful Bowls. There they are. I'm going to double-click on this, and it'll find flowers as well, but won't find Abstract Waves because it's a different named file. Double-click on that. It says it found 1 previously missing items. Oh well, grammar is not perfect here. Click OK. So it found flowers, but didn't find Abstract Waves. So I double-click on that, and we open up to the same folder because that's where we last left off. And there it is. So I double-click on that. You'll notice that the new name shows up here, properly linked to that file. Finally, we have these 2 files down here. Let's double-click on Basketball. I changed the name of that one, so we need to find that folder. It's inside this folder here, and there's the basketball changed. Now, if I double-click on this, it would normally find the file down here in the subfolder, but I changed the name of the subfolder, so it won't work in this case. So I'll double-click on Basketball, finds that. It doesn't find Sequence because it's deeper down inside that changed name folder. So go back and get that one. Go over here to Image Change Sequence. If I just double-click on this, it's going to open it as what's called a TIFF sequence, which in this case is fine. So we'll click Import like that, or double-click on Sequence like that. And there it is, coming in as what's called an image sequence, which is something I cover later in the course. So now we have relinked to all those missing assets. It was a little tedious in this case because I really made it difficult for After Effects. Now, if you have unlinked assets, the likely scenario for you won't be quite as complicated. You probably just moved one folder someplace. If you find that folder, After Effects should find all the rest of the assets.